Welcome to aminacademy.com. In astronomy, let us discuss about universe on the large scale and universe of the very small. Before that, you may hear that stars are referred to eternal. That means no end. But in fact, no star can last forever since the business of star is making energy and energy production requires some sort of fuel to be used up. Eventually, all stars run out of fuel. This news should panic you. No matter, don't panic because our sun still has at least 5 or 6 billion years to go. Ultimately, the sun and all stars will die, and it is in their death throes that some of the most intriguing and important process of the universe are revealed. Now, let us discuss about the universe on the large scale. The term large scale structure of the universe refers to the pattern of galaxies and matter on scales much larger than individual galaxies and grouping of galaxies. This correlated structure can be seen up to billion of light years in length and are created and shaped by gravity. In very rough sense, you may think of the solar system as your house or apartment and the galaxy as your town. Imagine solar system as your house or apartment and the galaxy as your town, made up of the many houses and buildings. In the 20th century, astronomers were able to show that just as our world is made up of many, many towns, so the universe is made up of the enormous numbers of galaxies. Galaxies stretch as far into space as our telescope can see. Many billions of them within the reach of modern instruments when they were first discovered. Some astronomers called galaxies the nearest galaxy discovered in 1993 as a small one that lies 75,000 light years from the sun in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. We define the universe to be everything that exists that is accessible to our observations. Galaxies stretch as far into space as our telescopes can see, many billions of them within the reach of modern instruments. When they were first discovered, some astronomers called galaxies island universes. The first galaxies found, that is, astronomers called this galaxies island universes, and the term is aptly descriptive. The nearest galaxy discovered in 1993 is a small one that lies 70,000 light years from the Sun in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. Beyond the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy lie two other small galaxies about 160,000 light years away, first recorded by Magellan's crew as he sailed around the world. These are called the Magellanic Clouds. All three of these small galaxies are satellites of the Milky Way galaxy interacting with its through the force of gravity. Ultimately, all three may even be swallowed by our much larger galaxy as the small galaxies have been over the course of cosmic time. What are the star clusters? Star clusters are group of stars that share an origin, forming at roughly the same time and location and are tied together by gravity for up to millions or even billions of years. At distance of 10 to 15 million light years, we find other small galaxies group, and then at about 50 million light years, there are more impressive systems with thousands of members of galaxies. We have discovered that galaxies occur mostly in clusters, that is, both large and small. Here, what are clusters? Some of the clusters themselves form into larger groups of called superclusters. The local group is part of a supercluster of galaxies called the Virgo supercluster, which stretches over a diameter of 110 million light years. We are just beginning to explore the structure of the universe at these enormous scales and are already encountering some unexpected findings. At even greater distances where many ordinary galaxies are too dim to see, we find quasars, that is called quasars. These are brilliant these are brilliant center of galaxies glowing with the light of an extraordinary energetic process. The enormous energy of the quasars is produced by gas that is heated to a temperature of millions of degrees as it falls towards a massive black hole and swirls around it. With quasars, we can see way back closer to the Big Bang explosion that marks the beginning of time. Beyond the quasars and the most distant visible galaxies, we have detected the feeble glow of the explosion itself filling the universe and thus coming to us from the in all direction in space. Measurement of the properties of galaxies and quasars in remote locations require large telescopes, sophisticated light amplifying devices, and painstaking labor. Every clear night and observatories around the world, astronomers and students are at work on much mysteries as the birth of new stars and the large-scale structure of the universe fitting their results into the tapestry of our understanding. At a distance of 10 to 15 million light years, we find other small galaxies group, and then at about 50 million light years, there are more impressive systems with thousands of members of galaxies. We have discovered that galaxies occur mostly in clusters, both large and small. Next, we will talk about the universe of the very small. The foregoing discussion has likely impressed on you that the universe is extraordinarily large and extraordinarily empty. Means the universe is extraordinarily large, most extraordinary space is empty. On average, it is 10,000 times more empty than our galaxy. Yes, as we have seen, even the galaxy is mostly empty space. The air we breathe has about 10 power 19 atoms in each cubic centimeter, and we usually think of air is empty space. But in 1 cubic centimeter, there are 10 power 19 atoms in that, but even we are saying there is empty space. Even it is air, we are thinking about it is empty space. Most of the universe is fascinatingly empty. Places that we are dense, such as the human body, are tremendously rare. Even our most familiar solids are mostly space. Even it is a solid space, it have a lot of empty space inside. If we could take apart such a solid piece by piece, we would eventually reach the tiny molecules from which it is formed. Molecules are the smallest particles into which any matter can be divided while still retaining its chemical properties. A molecule of water, that is H2O, for example, consists of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atoms bonded together. Molecules in turn are built of atoms. which are the smallest particles of an element that can still be identified as the element. For example, an atom of gold is the smallest possible piece of that gold. Nearly 100 different kinds of atoms, that is elements, exist in the nature. Most of them are rare, and only a handful accounts for more than 99% of everything with which we can become in contact. The most abundant elements in the cosmos today are hydrogen and other some elements. We listed some elements in the cosmos, abundant elements. Hydrogen, which is 1 million, number of atoms per million hydrogen atom is this much. Helium is 80,000. The number of 1 million hydrogen atoms, there are 80,000 helium atoms. Carbon is 450. Only for out of 1 million hydrogen atoms, there is 450 carbon elements. Like all, note this, these are the tabular form that in cosmos there exist main elements is hydrogen, helium, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, neon, magnesium, silicon, sulfur and iron. Still more is there. These are the main things here. About an atom we'll discuss, because even this galaxy is this universe completely formed by atoms itself. All atoms consist of a central positively charged nucleus surrounded by negatively charged electrons. We know that. The bulk of the matter in each atom is found in the nucleus, which consists of positive protons and electrically neutral neutrons, that is no charge for neutron, all bound tightly together in a very small space. Each element is defined by the number of protons in its atom. Thus, any atom with 6 protons in its nucleus is called carbon. For example, any with 50 protons is called tin, that is atomic number, and any with 70 protons is called ytterbium. Like different atoms have different atomic number. The distance from an atomic nucleus to its electron is typically 100,000 times the size of the nucleus itself. That much empty is inside one atom. This is why we say that even solid matter is mostly space, empty space. The typical atom is far emptier than the solar system out to Neptune. The distance from Earth to the Sun, for example, is only 100 times the size of the Sun. This is the one reason atoms are not like miniature of solar system. Remarkably, physicists have discovered that everything that happens in the universe, from the smallest atomic nucleus to the largest superclusters of galaxies, can be explained through the action of only 4 forces, that are gravity, electromagnetism, which combines the action of electricity and magnetism, and 2 forces that act inside the nucleus, weak forces and strength forces. There are 4 forces mainly deal in our universe. So far we discussed about large size of, means universe on the large scale and universe is very small. Both the topic we discussed. If you have done, please subscribe our YouTube channel.